couple shooters that hit you on the
Welcome to odds.com UFC Fight Night Breakdown, Wednesday, May 13th. It all goes down at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida. And we have a preliminary card breakdown right here, right now, with our best MMA analysts. We have Clint, the star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, and Boston Nick in the house, a.k.a. Mr. Fat Fist. Let's get into it right now. Wednesday night action. Find some angles for you guys to get that cash. We're starting with a heavyweight bout. 6'4" Chase, the Vanilla Gorilla Sherman, sitting at minus 138, going up against 6'3" Hurricane Ike Villanueva at plus 110. Clint, let's start with you. Can you make money on this first fight on the preliminary card Wednesday night?
Jimmy, we always gotta love starting with the big boys, right? Kicking off a UFC card with the heavyweights. I love it. So the problem is this card is top heavy, Jimmy. The undercard is complete garbage. It's going to be really tough to find good spots where you can trust your money on this spot, because really all the throwaway fights that they could piece up and match together to fill this card out, that's what's on the undercard this week. So Chase Sherman, he's got a run in the UFC from a couple of years ago. Poor boy went on a 3-fight skid, got absolutely rolled, and got dropped from the UFC. Given the Corona situation, he's got a window here to jump right back in. He's got 2 TKO victories in his last 2 fights. He is not a UFC caliber heavyweight. Just plain and simple, that's the end of the story. Isaac Villanueva, this guy is a light heavyweight. He fights at 205. Same exact situation. He's got a 16-9 record. He does not belong in the UFC, but when Dana White calls and you got the opportunity for that big paycheck, you're going to pick up that phone. So he's taking a fight up a weight class in a territory where he's never been. This is a fight where it's pretty plain and simple to me. If you're going to bet it, you've got to go with Chase Sherman. He's not a guy that I would otherwise trust, but these two are both power punchers. They've both been knocked out. They've both been finished, and 80% of both of their wins are by KO. They're going to stand and bang until one of them drops. The difference is one of them is a real heavyweight, and one of them has UFC caliber experience. So even though he lost to all those guys at the UFC level, he's at least been there. So if I'm going to make a bet, I'm going to side with Chase Sherman. But honestly, this is a clear stay-away fight. We don't have totals yet. If they give you a total and you can get under 1.5, that might be the way to go.
That might be the way to go. Boston Nick, what do you think? Clint calling this opening in the preliminary card garbage.
Honestly,
Boston Nick, a way to make some cash here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe he just nailed it. I mean, honestly, they're both just garbage. We know this, but the garbage I'd rather take out is probably Chase Sherman. You know what I mean? I think Ike's a little bit smellier of the garbage as analysis, but the leg kicks from Chase are impressive. He's the bigger guy. In fact, he's way bigger. He just nailed it. Ike's really a 205er. That being said, if you want action on this prelim card, you got to take Chase at minus 130. Is that what we're getting at, Jimmy, right now?
Minus 138 right now.
138. So I might get a little bit of itchy finger early on. I might take Chase at minus 138. I also like that under that Clint just mentioned at what was it at? The 1.5?
We don't know yet. It's not
That's right.
up yet.
Not up yet. So if that's under minus 150, I'll take that.
We're still 6 days away. If the under 1.5 is minus 150, like you said, you would find that more appealing, Nick, than taking Chase Sherman at minus 138?
Yeah, I think so.
And does that go with you as well, Clint? If the minus 1.5 or under 1.5 rounds is under minus 150 or better?
I mean, if you're getting a decent price on it, then yeah, I'd say probably so, because, again, both these guys are garbage. I do think Chase is probably the right side, but both them push the pace. Both them look for the knockout. Both them are susceptible to the knockout. You don't have to pick a side here if you're playing the total. So, yeah, the under 1.5 is probably the safer way to go. But I'll be honest with you, Jimmy, that's just if you're an action junkie and you want to bet every single fight, you need something on this one. I'm not touching it.
Let's move on to the featherweight bout. We have 5'8" American Hunter Azure. 8-0-0, sitting at minus 163, going up against 5'6" American Brian Boom Kelleher, 20-10-0 at plus 137. Boston Nick, we'll start with you here. Is there an angle, a move to be made?
I mean, I believe so. I like Hunter Azure, plain and simple. He's 8-0 in the UFC, just like you said. I mean, right now at this point, Kelleher's best win is against a broken head and brow, in my opinion. I think after this fight, after Azure, sends him back to the stands, I do believe that Brian Boom Kelleher is going to go back to freestyling. I don't know if you guys have heard his freestyling on the internet, but that's pretty good. I believe that Azure gets this done. He's better all around. He's better in grappling. He's better in the striking department. I mean, Brian does throw. He's great switching stances. He does have some power, but I favor Hunter Azure here, and I'm thinking about putting a bet on him. What do we got him at right now, Jimmy?
Minus 163 available at Bet365 as we speak, Nick.
If it drops below 150, I'll be on it.
Clint, Nick thinking about making a move on Hunter Azure and his perfect record.
So out of the garbage fights on this undercard, Jimmy, this one actually might be the one that I really like. It's actually a pretty dang good matchup. I'm a big fan of Brian Boom Kelleher. He cashed in as a big dog for me his last time out when he upset O'Day Osborne, finished him in the very first round. The one thing that Kelleher really has going for him is a sick guillotine choke. If he gets on your neck, he's got a tight squeeze. He knows how to finish this thing. He's got a lot of submissions on his record. He's a decent wrestler. He seemed to have improved that in his last fight. He hit a big double leg on O'Day that he just didn't see coming. Boom's got tight boxing, a crisp counter hook. And I'll be honest, I figured I was going to go right back to the well with Kelleher here this week. And then I dug into the tape and watched Hunter Azure and what this guy can do. He was training at the MMA lab, really strong wrestling base here in Arizona, and then he moved over to Fight Ready. And if you don't know Fight Ready, it's my favorite up-and-coming gym right now. That's where current champion Henry Cejudo trains out of, and you can't get a better wrestling coach than the Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo. This guy is training over there. He's getting the best work he possibly can. He is bigger than Boom Kelleher. He's got a longer reach. He is stronger. I just don't see an edge for Kelleher. If Kelleher can't get this thing to the mat, he has no opportunity to win the fight. And the counter wrestling of Azure and the size of Azure, I think, is just going to keep this thing a standing striking match. He's going to keep Kelleher on the outside. And if Kelleher can't get in to use those hooks either, he doesn't have much of a path to victory. I think Azure keeps that 0 next to his record, Jimmy. I think he goes undefeated still. And this is one I'm actually very interested in betting. I haven't pulled the trigger just yet, but I like Hunter Azure a lot, and I'm getting close.
And would you be using this as a parlay piece, or would you be singling it?
Honestly, I think it's good in either. Now, the price is playable straight. So if you're getting technical, you always want to make straight bets. If someone shits the bed, your parlay doesn't get ruined that way. It's probably better to lay the chalk in this kind of a spot and just play it straight. But I wouldn't hate it in a parlay, especially if more money starts coming on it and that price goes up. He gets around minus 180, minus 190. You still want that piece? Go ahead and throw him in a parlay.
Boston Nick and Clint start a Die Hard MMA podcast, both making moves on Hunter Azure in this featherweight bout on the preliminary card. We move to a lightweight fight, 5'8", Gabriel Mowgli Benitez at plus 125, going up against 5'11", Omar Morales. Another perfect record on the line at minus 150. Clint, let's start with you. Is there a move to be made here?
Yeah, this is the late fight that was added to the card. This one's very, very interesting. Like you said, another undefeated fighter, and it's a very similar situation where he's just going to be the bigger, stronger guy. Omar Morales has impressed me so far in his UFC run, and he's just very insanely physically strong. The dude's a brick shithouse. He doesn't have a lot of experience, though, so somebody eventually is going to catch him. He's 34 years old. That is the wrong age to be kicking off your career in the UFC. I expect we're going to have an opportunity to fade him at some point very soon down the road, but this ain't it. He's fighting Gabriel Benitez, who, even though he's going to have experience on his side, he's normally a 145er. He's taking this fight on short notice, up a weight class, up 10 pounds. He's going to be at a severe strength and size disadvantage, and I think that just is going to play against him here. If you can't move Omar Morales, you're going to have a bad time. This guy, he's nothing but power shots. He wants to bully his opponents, rough them up against the cage, attack their legs, attack the body. He's got a well-rounded skill set, and against mid to low-tier opponents, he's just going to crush them because of his physicality. This is another one that, honestly, if you wanted to tie the last favorite we talked about, Hunter Azure and Omar Morales, into a parlay, that wouldn't be a bad way to get you some undercard action. I like Morales in this spot. He's not as tested of a product as the last fighter that we talked about, but same situation, almost the exact same situation. I would favor him here.
Yeah.
If you want Azure Morales parlay, that comes out to plus 169. Let's take it over to Boston Nick here. Benitez Morales.
I like that plus 169. I like the number. All right, so let's put it this way. Right now, as of now, Gabriel, I like to call him, not Gabriel, Gabriel. He's lost to Yusuf. The only people he's really beaten is Bandone, Knight, and what? Sam Cecilia, right, Clint? Yeah, Sam Cecilia.
Yeah.
And then he lost to Barzola. I mean, right now, this is like a perfect storm for Morales, in my opinion. I really think Morales gets this done. Like you said, he's the much bigger guy. He's the true 155-pounder. He's got right now a 2-inch reach, also 3-inch height advantage, and I just really think that Benitez has nothing for him. I believe that Morales gets this done for sure, maybe inside the distance, but I wouldn't trust it. We don't know the lines right now. If it was at plus odds, I would definitely take it. So my pick here is Morales.
That is part one of the preliminary card this Wednesday night, Jacksonville, Florida. Big thank you to our MMA analysts. We have Boston Nick, a.k.a. Mr. Fatfist, and Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Get that cash on Wednesday night. Follow us on Odds 110 on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube page right here, Odds HQ, and check us out at odds.com. But most importantly, get paid on Wednesday.
Better watch your friends, they quick to turn the odds. And that bitch nigga will play you for a thought. Ain't no Star Wars, yeah, my shit go TikTok.